This morning, I got a message from someone that said they're having a rough patch with photography. They feel less inclined to pick up their camera and they run out of ideas for compositions. They look at other people's photographs and they just wonder how they do it and they feel clueless about how others are making photographs. The person goes on to say, all in all, I'm feeling tiny and dumb, like a kid running around with an expensive toy. Any words of wisdom? And so I decided to make this video because I feel like that so many times. And I bet there's a bunch of us out there that feel like sometimes maybe we're wasting our time and that photography is too hard and that we're not very motivated. I'm here to let you know that those feelings are totally normal. And when you're feeling down and you feel like your photography's kind of meh and you don't feel like doing photography, there's a couple of things I've done that have helped me, and so I want to share those with you. Okay. The first thing is to go out and buy yourself a very expensive camera. No, I'm just kidding. That's something that people do. Some people will buy a new lens or buy a new camera, and that does help for a little while. You get motivated because it is a new toy, but that's not the right way to go about it. And I myself am guilty of that, but in my defense, I buy old and used cameras, which are super fun. Like this Fujifilm X-E2. This was only $279. Okay, that's not the point of this video. Now let's tackle a couple of these things. The first one is when you're out and you're shooting and you feel negative about shooting and what you're doing and you feel your town is boring and there's nothing to shoot. Well, think about that this is your brain. You're now in a negative space trying to force yourself to do photography, and this is not very helpful. So my first recommendation is to completely just put the camera down. I feel like sometimes it's really hard to work out of these funks, and you end up even in a deeper funk when you come back and your photos are even worse from you being in this negative space. So you have to sort of self-assess a little bit and think about, you're not in your best creative moment when you're dealing with these feelings. So I'm not a psychologist, by the way, although I'm trying right now. But I will say, I'm just from my own experience, sometimes I know to just put the camera down. So the first thing is to stop. Stop your photography for a while, put it down, and maybe do something else. Tinker or read or take a walk, all the other stuff that psychologists recommend to do. The second thing I suggest is the person mentioned that they are looking at other people's photographs and that they just feel like, how the heck are these people getting these amazing photos and I'm not getting them? So the first thing is maybe to stop scrolling, stop looking through Instagram and just looking at these amazing images that to you are unobtainable. Because know that some of these social media sites are all about, there's an algorithm that works against you in that you're liking photos and you're going to see more of those photos that you like. And the photos that you like are amazing. And the people who are creating these amazing photos are getting likes and views, and you're not really seeing all of photography. You're seeing what a computer wants you to see. So I think one of the things is you might have to stop scrolling and stop searching images. So what I suggest doing instead is, instead of scrolling, pick up a book. If you pick up a book, like if you go to the library or the local bookstore, actually stopping and staring at a produced photograph and a printed photograph really slows you down. And it lets you take in things that you may miss from scrolling, a direction of light or, tones, or if you just stop for a second and look and take in some of the photographs, something might start to click. There's a couple of books I go through. One of them is Humans of New York. I just love the simplicity of those portraits of people in New York. They're more about the story and they're more about capturing faces. And I love the Humans of New York series and what Brandon does. So that's one of the books I go through every now and then. The other one to me is Pete Souza's Obama book, because he does what I want to do, which is capture family moments and special moments almost in a photojournalistic style. So that's another book I love. And then this portrait book by Annie Leibovitz. This one is great because some of the images here are just so simple. For example, not that one. That one's complex. I was like, they're so simple. Yeah, look at this thing. Crazy. But some of them are just photos of someone in their office or in a car or something very simple. You know, someone in their workshop or someone, it's just available light. And, you know, that motivates me that if she could just take a snapshot, a pensive snapshot of someone thinking, then I could do it too. Get books. Make a collection. You've taken probably a lot of photographs, but there may be, as a beginner, there may be all over the place as far as themes and looks. So make a collection of 5 images. Find 5 images that are similar and edit them similar and just sit with them for a while. I think the things you'll collect are things you're interested in. So if it's landscapes or flowers, you know, collect what you like, and that will maybe drive you in a direction of the photos you want to take. Instead of being all over the place, I walk around and I don't know what to photograph. Well, go through what you have photographed, and that might steer you in the right direction. Which brings me to my next point. After you cull those images, what makes you happy, I really think you should print them. Holding your images and seeing your images on a wall is very different than working on them on a computer or sharing them on social media. Like, actually try to hold them, try to get a printer or send them out to be printed. But if you put them up on a wall or hold them, it gives you like a little different spark. You're actually creating and producing, and it's like the holding of it is very different. This is a reason why some people start to shoot film. You might want to do that, although that starts to get a little complicated with the gear and is a little expensive. So use what you have. Or buy yourself a very expensive camera. The next one sounds simple, but it's probably the best advice I could give you, is go out at the right time. Every time a beginner gives me their pictures, hey, check out my portfolio, or what can you tell me about these pictures? It's a lot of the times the same story. The pictures are taken at the worst part of the day, noon. Start going out for yourself, for clearing your mind, sunrise. Sunset is great, sunset is amazing, but sunrise, there's no people. It's just you and your thoughts and you producing photography. It's one of my favorite times to go out is when the sun is coming up. A picture that may be terrible at noon is more amazing, and there's some quality to it at sunrise. Okay, and then when you're starting to feel a little bit more motivated, you might want to look around your home, pick a wall, and try to fill it with something. It could be a kitchen and you want to photograph, food. You want to photograph breakfast items. So you are working towards an end product. And this in itself will motivate you because there's thinking about it, there's pre-planning, maybe you're sketching stuff out and ideas, and you feel like you're working on something that has an end. And sometimes when we do photography, you don't know why you're taking pictures. You're just walking around grabbing snaps, and you're like, what am I going to do with these photos? So if you have a project, there's something you're going to do with them. You're creating, you're printing them, you're going to put them on a wall to enjoy, and at the end of that little, project, you feel like you've accomplished something, and then you can maybe move on to the next wall. So we all feel down, and sometimes we just need a little kick or some kind of change in direction to get us back to being motivated with photography. Or you could just buy a brand new camera. That will help too. All right, I'll see you guys next time.